Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel, and I'm your host Sri Iyer. Today I am joined by Elmer Yuen, and we're going to talk about two important things happening. One is Taiwan Strait. Another delegation of U.S. congressmen and senator have visited there, led by Ed Markey, and also what is happening in one of the most industrialized provinces of China, Sichuan, to understand and kind of get a feeling for what's going to be happening in the next few weeks. Let's welcome our guest of the day, Elmer Yuen. Elmer, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Siri, thank you for inviting me again. Thank you.
Well, the pleasure is all mine, Elmer. And so let's start with what is happening in Sichuan province. They said that they are going to have a shutdown for a limited period of time. And I don't know if it is 6 days or is it beyond that. The problem appears to be supply of coal or power to the whole state. Plus, there seems to be a heat wave going in China. What can you tell us about that, sir?
Overall, China, there's a huge heat wave covering almost half of China. And as the result, there's because nowadays people have air conditioning in China. So everybody turned their air conditioning on. So as a result, the power grid is overloaded. And they have all kinds of problems these days. And I don't know whether you've heard that the bullet train, the high-speed railway system in China, suddenly the whole system has problem. We're no longer on time, meaning delayed. So that could be a hack from the US to the Chinese bullet train system. So almost every station, they have delays. And that especially, as you know, the most concentrated high-speed railway is along the coast, along the Pacific coast. And the Chinese have an idea, if they go into a war, they want to use the high-speed railway to transport soldiers and weapons. You remember that's one reason they built the high-speed railway all the way to Tibet, because in case there's a war with India, they can supply all the way to Tibet. And so this is their backup plan for the high-speed railway. So things are happening. Shanghai is still partly on and off, shut down and off. So the Shanghai is a hub, industrial hub, and also a material flow of the entire China. The Shanghai hub is not functioning. It's probably about 30-40% down. So that's why the entire Chinese economy is about 30-40% down. And right now, this BA.5 virus is coming back, and it's creating a lot of problems in China. So believe it or not, I don't want to badmouth China, but the reality is in all kinds of trouble. I think you have information too, even on newspaper. It's in a mess. Let's put it that way. The property bubble has burst, and then you have COVID, and then you have people losing their job or cutting their salaries. And so the whole buying power, consumption power is down. The economy is in a mess. And on top of that, they have basically pissed off every country in the world. Very few left. Even Russia, sooner or later, will go into a pissing competition with China, because over the centuries, the Russia have never been really good friends, except with the leader, with the dictator to dictator. Stalin got on well with Mao, and Putin got on well with Xi Jinping. But people to people, it's never been friendly.
Now, the Taiwan Strait, I had done one monologue. I was trying to get you, but unfortunately you were traveling, so I couldn't get you. So you had sent me a video of fishing vessels, going through Taiwan Strait to try and block it. And now I'm hearing that Germany is also sending its forces. And they are going to Australia, but they're not going to Australia directly. They're starting from Japan to South Korea, probably through the South China Sea, or somewhere there. They're going to go to Australia, do some drills together. Do you think another formation or an extension of AUKUS called GAUKUS, Germany, Australia, UK, US, is going to be forming?
Let me go back to where you started at the beginning of the program. You said the second batch of US congressmen and have arrived in Taiwan.
Yes.
One of the key persons is the chairman of the Foreign Relationship Committee, and that's very important. What we are seeing is Nancy Pelosi went, and then this group went. So what they are really aiming at is the recognition, diplomatic recognition of Taiwan. And then European Union has gone, Lithuania, and now Japanese are going to visit, and I hope India will also visit Taiwan as a group. So what the American is working behind the scene is to get, maybe sometime next year, to get everybody to recognize Taiwan all at the same time, at least diplomatic recognition. And then, of course, the next step will be get Taiwan into United Nations. This is a very good plan. It really works, because how can you fight all the countries at the same time? How can China, when they jointly together simultaneously recognize Taiwan as a normal country? So this is happening behind the scene. China, of course, they know exactly what I know. So they are shooting all kinds of, threatening Taiwan with all kinds of missiles, and their airplanes, the fighter jets are going across the normal dividing line, the center line of the Taiwan Strait. Actually, and then they even send ships trying to cross that line. So they've been violating, there's no question. And then they're shooting missiles, 5 missiles over Taiwan, even though they say it's beyond too high and it's no longer, but that's BS, you know. When you are over, you're over. You know, it lands in the other side of Taiwan. So the reality is, America has been organizing to have a Ronald Reagan aircraft carrier, and of course, whole bunch of airplanes and other ships, and also nuclear submarine to go through the Taiwan Strait to demonstrate to China that they are serious, that the strait is an open channel for all ships and all battleships or commercial freight. So what they're going to do, and they already make it very clear, there is the person in charge of the American U.S. is Campbell. Campbell already announced that in 1 or 2 weeks they're going to send this. And this worries me a lot, because China, I knew, is always hoping to trap a U.S. fleet within the Taiwan Strait, because they have the advantage. Normally in the ocean warfare or air fight, they can never even come close to U.S. But in a situation like the Taiwan Strait, they have the land weaponry, all right? They have all the artillery and the missiles. They can fly from the land on the west side of the strait. So basically, they can have almost hundreds and thousands of cannons, you know, or missiles shooting towards, have a capture target within the Taiwan Strait. And as we have discussed before, you can use commercial or fishing vessels to block the both ends, so that you cannot move freely. So this is their only means, their advantage. They have an advantage over US. Everywhere else, they don't have an advantage, air or ocean. But within that strait, they can use their land power, and very hard to fight back. So this, I'm only suspecting. Of course, I don't command the Chinese military, but this has been their best opportunity to show that they can win a war, and also capture a couple of islands, that's Taiwanese islands that's closer to the mainland, to show they can win, not a total victory, but a small strategic win, and create a crisis that US or the rest of the world will go and negotiate with them. That's what they believe. But what I believe is, if they really do that, US may go all the way, all right? Because the American, as you know, you live in the States so long, American are cowboys too, you know, you piss them off, they want to fight. They're not going to say sorry and then let you walk over them. That's not the US spirit. The spirit is, you know, you push them all the way to the corner, they fight back, and they are very tough. So this is a crisis that can be coming in a couple of weeks. If that happens, then if China does not interfere with the fleet going through, then it's a game of chicken. All right, China basically blinked, and if they start a war, that it could be a limited crisis. It's not a World War III. China claimed the whole Taiwan and Taiwan Strait is part of China. All right, their territory. So they don't need to start a war. They say, oh, we are doing something within our territories. It's not a war. It's like what Putin is saying, all right, about Ukraine. It's a military action, whatever you call it. I don't know what you call it. But anyway, it's a war. At least it's a battle. So this is what I suspect will happen in the Taiwan Strait. And the only moment and the only place they have an advantage over the rest. Anywhere else, they lose their shirt. So this is what I think is happening. This is the crisis. And as you know, the rest of the world is trying to recognize Taiwan, and that puts a tremendous pressure on Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping just finished a 2-week meeting in the 𝙒𝙧𝙖𝙩𝙨𝙦, which is the seaside resort, east of Beijing. And every year, all the big shots, it's like the family, you watch the movie Godfather, right? They have the commission.
Right.
The commission have a meeting every day to discuss matter of crisis and also elect the Godfather. I mean, that's the way they do. So this particular 𝙒𝙧𝙖𝙩𝙨 meeting, which lasts longer than anyone on record, it's like exactly 2 weeks, because all of them disappear from public scene. So they had 2 weeks of meeting. They just came out, 𝙤𝙧𝙤𝙪 just came out to Shutdown to discuss about the economy. And Xi Jinping just come out. So they just finished, of course, huge fight. If it lasts that long, huge fight. The latest I heard is Xi Jinping admitted many, many mistakes, but not willing to give up the re-election. Let's call it election. Not willing to give up the third term. But it's not decided, of course. That's why it lasted so long. The argument went on and on. You see, in the communist, every 5 years is one term, and within the term they have many, many working meetings. And just before the 20th plenary session, there will be the 7th working meetings, which will happen probably end of October. Most probably it would decide whether he will get his third term decided during the 7th. And then the 20th plenary is only a matter of ceremony or formality. So nothing is decided whether Xi Jinping will be or not will be. There's huge opposition. And he already gave up his lot of power already in order to be, hopefully somebody will support him to be reelected. He gave up basically economy, and then the COVID is China. They are practicing this zero tolerance half-heartedly, right? And economy is all run by the Prime Minister Li Keqiang now, because Xi Jinping does not even understand mathematics. This guy has problem. You should listen to all his speeches. He has never talked about one figure or number, because he never went through mathematics. The man has a fifth grade, all right. And in the old days, you don't really have to be a good student, even at the 5th grade, because they are from big, powerful families. So he has no idea about economics. He has no idea about law, about international affairs. He has no idea of business, zero. So basically, he has his idea, which he inherited from Mao, how to have a Puritan socialist country or communist country. That's all he has. But he never considered the cost of taking certain actions. He just order. And of course, the result has been catastrophic. So right now, he's given up the power, but not given up on his third term. Right? So the fight is going on, very, very fierce fight. And in the meantime, economy is left in tatters. So nobody care about economy. All right. It's only Li Keqiang say, please maintain, meaning try your best. But there is no solution. There will never be any solution until they give up communism. because communism, it comes to, it's a matter, the currency is power. And when you have political power, you have to sacrifice your economy. That is the name of the game. So it's been going on. Only when Deng Xiaoping came, he decided to hold back on all politics. That's why in the last 20-some years, the economy really thrived. So they have to trade. If they want economy, they have to give up communism. If they want communism, they have to give up on economy. They can't have both.
So viewers, this brings us to a close of part 1 of this conversation. I have a part 2 planned. And what we are going to do, viewers, in that is we're going to discuss 3 things. The current Russia-Ukraine conflict. And we're also going to discuss the fact that when Nancy Pelosi was visiting Taiwan, her son was attending meetings of a board of a company where CCP has a lot of stake. So is this all like make-behave? We'll get the answer from Elmer. The third thing we're going to talk about is the statistics on those 2 islands that China is eyeing. Thank you very much, and stay tuned, and we'll be right back.